Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Latisse Hudson, and in 2018, I quit my corporate job, launched my coaching business, and in less than 1 year, I hit the six-figure mark. And now I'm here to help you do it too. So each week on the podcast, I'm going to share all things money, mindset, and online marketing so you can reach more people, make more money, and do what you love from the comfort of anywhere in the world. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. It's your time to elevate. Hi, everyone. My name's Latisse. Welcome back. I'm super excited for today's podcast episode because I really want to break down the differences between evergreen funnels, evergreen programs. It's this term that gets thrown around in the online industry. And honestly, it's like one of my favorite terms, but I really want to do my due diligence and break it down because I can even tell you every single day I get a question in my inbox. Latisse, what does evergreen mean? I constantly get that question, and I really want to break that down today because I don't want y'all to be afraid of evergreen. I don't want you to be afraid of what it could do for your business because honestly, it could literally change the entire trajectory of your business. So oftentimes like I get asked like, what does it mean? What does it mean in business? What does it mean in marketing? And I'm going to break it down for you today. So you've probably heard of the term like, make passive income while you sleep or sell your courses on autopilot. So let's kind of talk about what that actually means. So as y'all know, I am not a course creator necessarily. I help my clients create signature coaching programs that convert. So I'm going to really talk from the angle of creating an evergreen group coaching program and an evergreen funnel. Okay. So let's talk about the difference. So you have evergreen programs and then you also have evergreen funnels, and you need both. The breakdown for evergreen programs, for short, essentially what that means is that it's a program where somebody can come in at any time. So it's never closes essentially. It's always out there nourishing and flourishing, and it's always available, and you can bring somebody in at any time. So think about if you go to somebody's website and they have a course available that's sitting on their website, or if somebody has a coaching program that you can sign up for at any time, that is what evergreen is essentially. Okay. So it's really the ability to meet your clients where they're at. And I love evergreen, and we're going to talk about why I love it so much versus traditional like open close type of programs. So that's evergreen programs for short. And then I'm going to break down like what you need included inside of an evergreen program here in just a second. Now we're going to talk about evergreen funnels. So when we think about evergreen funnels, that's where when you hear the terms like, sell, make money while you sleep or sell on autopilot, those are evergreen funnels. Okay. So essentially an evergreen funnel is composed of three different parts that we're going to talk about in a second. But really the difference is with an evergreen funnel is that you have a piece of content or pieces of content, right, that is available long term, okay, that allows you to produce sales, right, from maybe one or two or three pieces of content, or it could be like 20 pieces of content, right? So when I think about the podcast is in essence an evergreen funnel because the content on the podcast is searchable for years and years to come. Okay. But a more traditional evergreen funnel is like going to be like a webinar or a mini course or a video sales letter or something like that. So you're going to be able to send it out to the lead. The lead's going to be able to watch the content and then they're going to be able to buy from you. Okay. Without much involvement from you. So when I think about evergreen content, you don't necessarily have to show up live. It's content that reaps results for like years, months, years, and years to come. Okay. So let's kind of talk about like perhaps like where you're at right now, if you've heard about evergreen programs, and we're going to break it down a little bit further. And I'm going to share with y'all what is actually needed to have a successful evergreen program. So fun fact, I have only ever sold evergreen programs. Only. Like that's all I've ever sold. I've never had a program where the cart was quote unquote open and then it closed. I've always had programs that people could start at any time. And I firmly believe evergreen programs are the way to go because my heart and my soul is at service of the client. So if I have a program, and this isn't to say like traditional programs that have an open and closed date are bad, right? But you have to look at like, where are you in service of? In my opinion, having an evergreen program is the best option for that. So, right, you've probably thought about having an evergreen program before. Maybe you've never heard of the term, or maybe you've heard like bad things about evergreen programs. And I'm here to like bust through those myths. So, maybe you're thinking that you need like a big audience because if you're on evergreen, then you have to be able to bring in people every single day. And right, maybe you think that you need a big audience. Maybe you think that you're not ready. Maybe you think you need all types of tech and fancy, like super fancy funnels, upsells, downsells, all the things, right? Maybe you're thinking that right now, or perhaps that you think, well, if somebody can come work with me at any time, how am I going to serve other people that are maybe in the group coaching program with them? How am I going to get them really good results? Okay. So the question I have for you, like those are all really valid. And if you're listening to the podcast right now and you're like, oh my gosh, like I've heard of Evergreen, I want to do Evergreen, but I'm having all of this mind drama and all of these thoughts, I really want you to pause and I want you to take a second. I want you to ask yourself, are these actually reasonable thoughts? Right. And also want you to ask yourself, do you trust yourself? Okay. Because there is very tangible tactical strategy that goes into an evergreen program. But really, when we separate ourselves from like all of these things that we think we need, and we just start thinking about being in service of the client first, why wouldn't you have an evergreen program? Okay. And we're going to talk about the pros of having an evergreen program in just a second. But like an evergreen program is life changing, right? I have only ever sold evergreen programs since I launched my coaching in 2019. I didn't even know what the term evergreen was, but I knew that I wanted to serve my clients at a really high level. I knew that I wanted to meet my clients where they were at. I knew that I wanted to make consistent income, and I wasn't about to like have all these crazy tactics of not being able to serve clients because of what everybody else said of like you can only come in at this time or this place. Like I wanted to be a service of the client and serve them at any level, right where they were at. So that's why an evergreen program is so powerful. So I'm going to break down a couple of the pros, like of having an evergreen business model in general, and then we'll talk about the actual evergreen funnel portion because you need both. You can't just have an evergreen program, right? Maybe you have a group coaching program or even an evergreen one-to-one program, or maybe you sell courses, right? The program in itself could already be evergreen, but how the hell are you going to get people into that program? And we're going to bust through some of the myths that you may be thinking, well, like why would anybody buy if it's always available? And I'm going to talk about that in a second because there's so many people out here talking about like you got to create urgency, right? If you don't have urgency, people aren't going to buy. And that's like so far from the truth, like it's not even funny. So let me get back on track here. We're going to talk about why it's important that you have an evergreen business model, and then I'll shift in talking about why you need an evergreen funnel to go with that evergreen program. So, the pros of having an evergreen business model, y'all, is that you have the ability to generate income every single day. Okay. So, whether you're selling group coaching or a course or one to one, right now, y'all all know like I have a special place in my heart for one to one. But when you're ready to scale and you're ready to get out of that hustle and that grind, you've got to shift over to group coaching. Okay. So, the pros is like you can make income every day. If you have like a traditional program where it's an open and closed date and you only have the program for 3 months, you're only making money potentially 3 months out of the year. Who wants that? And not even making it 3 months out of the year. What if everybody pays you in full? So you've only made money once a week out of 3 months. That's not really cool. So an evergreen program is going to allow you to generate income like every single day. And that is really helpful when you're looking to scale your business, right? When you're looking to project your cash flow or your revenue, you have the ability to predict it because you know that, okay, I'm going to put this much money in to the funnel. We'll talk more about that in a second. And based off of trends and data, my business is going to continue to grow. Okay. And with the launch, right, or a traditional program that has an open and closed date, right, your revenue can be kind of up and down. And the last time I checked, like, ain't nobody got time for up and down revenue. Okay. The other pro is that you have the ability, and this is like what I'm so passionate about, is that you truly have the ability to serve your clients where they are at, period. Okay. Because if you have a model where you only maybe do a launch twice a year or 3 times a year, I can't tell you how many times I've opened up my email inbox and I've seen somebody having a launch and then life gets busy. And then the next thing that I know, the launch is over. And I'm like, damn, I wish I could have joined that program. But then I couldn't join the program because the launch was closed. So out of integrity, like that person's not going to let me into their program because they've used all this scarcity and all of that to get people in. So as a consumer, for me, right, it doesn't feel good to not be able to join a program when I know I need that program. So it's the same thing as a marketer, as a coach, as a CEO. Again, it's back to that core of service. Like, I want to be able to serve my clients where they're at. So having an evergreen program, if somebody came to me in September or August or January or May, my program is already always available and open. And I'm always serving my clients, always getting good results, always, focus on the client results first because I can take in clients any day of the week. And that's so powerful. The other thing that we already kind of touched on a little bit is that you have the ability to better predict cash flow and revenue. As a business owner, y'all, like you have to be able to predict your cash flow. You have to know, right, trends and data and numbers. And if you're doing a traditional launch style, if your launch flops, then like you're screwed. You are absolutely screwed. So for me, having an evergreen business model combats the screwedness, and I'm able to actually have a business that creates leverage. I'm actually able to buy my time back, right? And I'm actually able to increase my revenue, right? In a healthy manner instead of just getting these massive cash injections and then like not having money coming in for months at a time. Because the last time I checked, a business creates money every single day. Okay. A profitable business, that's my opinion. Another pro of having an evergreen business model is that you get to create more freedom in your lifestyle. I don't know about y'all if y'all have ever done launches, and like I've done launches in the past, and my take on launches is that they're exhausting, that you put all this effort into launch, and what if it goes wrong, right? You put all your eggs in one basket. With an evergreen business model, right? You can make tweaks, you can make changes quickly without your entire sales process being affected, without your revenue being affected too greatly, right? But if you have a launch and it goes south, right? You can't launch every week. You can't. With Evergreen, your doors are always open. So you can create internal urgency, right? And I'm going to talk about that in a second. You can create internal urgency for the client on the other side to purchase, not based off of these fake scarcity tactics or if there's only 3.2 spots left or the doors are closing on Friday, right? For me, like I want freedom in my life and I don't want to be restricted by deadlines. I don't want to be restricted by having to pour all my energy in, right? For a launch because you have pre-launch, right? Where you're creating the vision. Then you have pre-launch where you're creating the emails, maybe the webinar or the challenge, right? You're running ads. You're trying to get all these people in at one time. It's a lot of energy. I'm a projector. I don't have a lot of energy. If y'all know human design, I'm a projector. I've talked about it on the podcast before. So launches are just like overall like exhausting. And then you have the actual launch where you have to execute. And then you have post launch. And then you're freaking tired. You are freaking tired, right? And that whole process could be anywhere from 3 to 6 months that you're spending if you want to have a really high quality launch. And like I said, if it goes south, you're SOL. Then you've just like, you feel like you've wasted all that time. And I don't want any of you to feel like that. Okay. And that's how I felt when I first tried to ever launch because I didn't know what I was doing. Right. It was way too much energy. And I was like, well, this ain't for me because I want freedom. I don't want to have to be somewhere at a certain place because I got to make money. I want to be able to make money any day of the week. And that's what Evergreen allows. And then the last pro, y'all, arguably my favorite, is you get to create better results for your clients quickly because on Evergreen, right, you're going to constantly be getting instant feedback, where you can make adjustments like the next day or the next week or the next month. If you have a launch model or if you have a launch business model, right, you may serve your clients for 3 months or 6 months at a time, but then you're already working on the next set of clients. And it's like, well, did you really serve those clients as powerfully as you could? Because you're worried that you're wanting to make sure the next launch goes good. When if you just served your clients, met them where they were at powerfully, and your cup wasn't empty every single day because you're still burnt out from that launch 2 months ago, think about how much better like the results your clients would get if you could show up powerfully for them every single day, like during your like office hours, because you have a system in the background, you have a program that you can sell at any time and any place. And you're not worried about, oh my God, the next launch has to go good or my business is screwed. So it's just a different frame of mind, and Evergreen is the way. Okay. Evergreen is the way. Okay. So let's kind of talk about what you actually need to make a program evergreen. All right. So we're going to switch gears a little bit and we're going to talk about like what you actually need to make a program evergreen. So I'm going to specifically talk about group coaching programs. I have tons of friends in the industry that talk about like selling evergreen courses. That's just not what I teach, but what I do teach is creating an evergreen group coaching program. And we'll kind of talk about like the 5 key pieces that you need. And this is not all that you need, but these are the major 5 things that are going to really make your program run really efficiently and really smoothly. So the first thing that you need is community. Okay. So I've been preaching this since I launched my evergreen program in 2019, is like you need solid community. Okay. So unlike one-to-one or a course, having a evergreen group coaching program based in community is what's going to excel your clients' results like 10 times faster. I know when we launched our group coaching program in 2019, I was going from one-to-one, I phased into group. And when I introduced that community, it was a game changer. Okay. So there's a lot of places that you can host your community. But regardless of the fact, having community centered around the same goals, the same desires, the same wants, I always say it takes a village to raise a child. It's no different than your clients, right? And I'm not comparing your clients to children, but what I am saying is that when we think about getting a big result, like creating more money or changing your health or fixing your relationships or getting closer and deeper in your spirituality, right? Having a community to support those efforts is so powerful. Okay, so having a community that as soon as your clients sign up, they can get jolted into right away, right? And feel welcome. Okay. So having a community is so powerful inside of an evergreen group coaching program. The second thing is you need a course to go in the back end. Okay. So and this is how I like to think about courses, right? I like to think about courses inside of your group coaching program. That course is what's going to teach like the information side of your coaching. Okay. So it's going to teach your unique proprietary framework, your system, your process, right? That's going to take your client from A to Z. And here's like the differentiator between me and maybe other people that teach group coaching programs is that I really focus on the course component heavily because the course has to be so damn good that if you gave that course to somebody else, right, they never got a coaching call with you or never got the community, they could still go through that course and get results, right? And I say the course can't break in the back end. Okay. So like that's your like litmus test is if you can give that course to somebody and they could go through that course by itself and still get the end result, you know that course is damn good. Okay. So I always use that as like a litmus test when I'm like helping my clients build out their courses inside of their group coaching programs. Okay. So, and the course is what's going to be your A to Z framework. It's what's going to take them from the mindset that they're in to this, to solving this problem, to understanding this new tactic, to implementing this new strategy. And I will say inside of your course, whether you're a health coach, like relationship coach, marketing coach, business coach, whatever, it doesn't really matter. You have a unique system and a framework that you walk your clients through. Period. You do. Okay. So that course is where you're going to download all the information in your brain and you're going to put it into a course and make it so if somebody came in A to Z, they could get those results by itself. Now, obviously, with a group coaching program, you're not just going to give somebody a course and be like, see you later, right? But it's still that course has to be so solid that they can still get really great results just with the course alone. Okay. And I love hosting the course. We personally use Kajabi. You guys can check the show notes for my affiliate link to check it out. But Kajabi is where we host all of our courses, like our courses for our group programs. And it's a game changer. It's so organized and it's really easy to use. And our clients like absolutely love it. Okay. And then like inside of that course, you'll have like worksheets and supplementary content, etc. Today's episode is sponsored by our signature program. Coaches tell me all the time, I'm ready for freedom in my coaching business. One-to-one coaching has been fun, but I'm ready for what's next. While there is a time and a place for courses in one-to-one coaching, when you're looking to scale past those coveted 10K months, an Evergreen Group Coaching Program is absolutely necessary. When I launched my Evergreen Group Coaching Program in 2019, It literally changed my entire life and business. Why? Because I was no longer capped on time. I took my expertise, packaged it up, and sold it one to many every single day of the week. I finally got the real freedom that I've been looking for and the bank account too. This new way of coaching created massive leverage and massive impact. If you're anything like me, your freedom and impact is non negotiable. This is exactly why I want to invite you to apply. Just for applying, I also want to send you over a free exclusive advanced training I recently created. This training is for coaches who are ready to attract clients on autopilot and create a business that you truly love. It's for you, even if you have a small audience of never sold group coaching before. It takes just 2 minutes to apply. Head on over to www.leticehudson.com/apply to get all the details. The third piece of having a evergreen group coaching program, what you need is the coaching, right? They came for coaching. That's why you're charging high ticket, because they are paying for the coaching and the transformation. Okay. So that's why with a regular course, you could charge $2,000, but with group coaching, you could take that course and turn it into a group coaching program and charge $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 for it because of the transformational coaching. Now, here's the thing. When we think about evergreen group coaching specifically, one of the biggest objections I always get, or big questions that I get from potential clients that are like, I really want to do evergreen group coaching, but like, I just don't know if my clients can get results. Like, if they're not working with me one to one, or if they're not, if they're coming in at any time, how do they actually get results? Well, the course that you have that we just talked about is where you're going to take them through A to Z. You're going to give them like a roadmap. You're going to give them a unique custom path that they can go through inside of the course, right? And that's something that you're going to do like up front when you onboard your client. But with the coaching, I really like to say it's like hot seat coaching. Okay. So it's in a group setting, but when you coach your clients, right, on the group coaching call, you're talking to them, like you're focused on them. So the beautiful thing about having it in a group coaching setting is that there are going to be other members of your community that are going to need that same exact coaching, and they may not even know that yet. Okay. So the beautiful part about having people come in at any time is that here's the thing, they all have the same common goal, period. Like they all have the same common goal, right? For my students in our, first level program, Social Selling Society, their goal is to get to 10K months. Inside of Elevate to Success, their goal is to create high-end group coaching programs and scale to, $500,000 a year, right? So there's everybody that comes into the program is going to be hand selected to make sure that they fit the result that you're promising. But everybody is going to be in that same community they're all in the same realm. They're all in the same arena. Okay. So you have to separate your own thought process and look objectively and be like, okay, like you're already further along than your client. So for you, it feels like, oh my gosh, like when I was coaching people one to one, like they had so many problems and issues, right? But now in a group coaching program, you're streamlining that. Because here's the tea, y'all. Like, nobody needs a custom strategy. I don't care what you tell me. Nobody needs anything custom. They don't. Okay. So, having that coaching is going to give them the support that they need. You're going to do it in a really streamlined way. You're not just going to make it chaotic and be like, just ask all the questions, right? You're going to do it in a streamlined way, but you're going to laser focus on their problem, get them the breakthrough, and then everybody else is going to reap the benefits. Okay. So, group coaching is so powerful beyond measures. Here's the fourth component of an evergreen group coaching program. The fourth component is you really need to have automated systems in place. Okay. Now, this doesn't need to be super complicated, but you need a way to be able to track your client journey. So, from the time that they onboard, from the time that they are halfway through the program, from them offboarding, you really need to be able to track their entire journey. Okay. And you need to do that as automated as possible so you can fill up your cup and do the thing that you love to do, right? Which is coach, right? You are a coach. Okay. So you need to do the things that you love to do in the coaching container. Okay. So automated systems looks like onboarding a client, making sure that they get all the things that they need, onboarding emails, getting their course access, making sure that they are ready, right, and set up for success on day one, right? So if you join my program today, you are going to get onboarded like immediately. There's no waiting. You're not going to have to wait like 2 weeks for somebody to reach out to you. So it's all about having a seamless of a client experience as possible when you're on Evergreen. Because if somebody could sign up at freaking 5 o'clock in the afternoon or 11 o'clock at night or 6 in the morning, how is that client going to be taken care of? You're going to do it with automation. Okay. So teach and support our clients with having like, and not just like basic level, like zaps. Like I know you guys have heard of Zapier, just like onboarding. It's like so much deeper than that. It's every part of the client fulfillment process, like automated as much as possible without taking out the human touch. And we do such a beautiful job with that inside of our Elevate program, which is where we help our clients transition to group programs on Evergreen specifically. And then the last key component of making a program evergreen is like you are going to need a team to support for fulfillment. So I always like to say this, like when you are stepping into wanting to create an evergreen group coaching program, one of the questions that you need to ask yourself is like, do you want to eventually grow a team? Now, this doesn't mean that you need to have a team of 40 people, because I don't even want a team of 40 people, but are you willing to get assistance in the areas that matter most? Okay, so for example, like one of the first hires that I made, right, as we were scaling our business was like I hired an additional coach to support my clients because as the business is growing, as we got more clients, one thing I was not willing to jeopardize was the client experience. I will never ever jeopardize my client experience. So, and here's the thing, like you may be thinking, well, nobody else can coach as good as me, or my clients aren't going to appreciate having another coach come in. First off, check your ego at the door, right? We all have to check our egos. But second off, there are going to be coaches that are better than you, period. Like, there are going to be coaches that are better than you, right? And you want to give the best experience for your clients. And if you are a CEO, you also have to do CEO things. And that doesn't always mean just coaching. Okay, so as you expand your capacity, as you expand your business, as you grow your revenue, as you get more clients, it's going to be super vital that you get support for those clients. Okay, I can tell you when we brought in, and we now have 4 coaches inside of our programs, right? So I'm a coach, and then we also have 4 other people that are highly skilled and qualified and trained by me and my unique methodologies to serve our clients. And here's the thing, like sometimes have you ever been in this spot where you've tried to tell a client, coached a client and said, do it this way, and it's still not clicking? Raise your hand. You've probably been there. But then if somebody else comes in and says it different, they're like, oh, that makes so much sense. That's the whole thing about bringing on support, especially for fulfillment first inside of your business. I always say bring on support for sales, get more money in the bank, and then bring on support to fulfill for your client so you don't ever jeopardize the client experience. And I will preach that to the day end of the earth, right? Sales first, got to watch your bottom line, and then fulfillment, like fulfilling on the client experience. Okay, awesome. So let's kind of transition and talk about. I could talk about this stuff all day, y'all. Like this podcast would be 20 hours if I could let it. But I want to kind of talk about now. I want to talk about evergreen funnels, and one of the biggest things that I get asked is like, well, Latice, how do you market an evergreen program if it's always open? Like, why would anybody buy? What's the urgency? How do you get people in? Like, those are really great questions. So let's kind of first break down like what you need to have for an evergreen funnel, because the evergreen funnel is like how you get people into the program. Okay, so you could have a program that's evergreen, but if you don't have a way to consistently bring people in, I mean, like, what are you doing, sis? So we've got to think about first component, you've got to have the program that's always open and set up, right? So a lot of times we have clients coming to Elevate to Success and they have a group coaching program, but I say we have to make it evergreenable. Okay, so we'll do that first. And then second, we're going to build out a funnel so you can bring in people consistently on Evergreen where you don't have to show up live every single day or what have you. So let's kind of talk about the 3 pieces that you need for an evergreen funnel. And just a reminder, an evergreen funnel is where you have content that is delivered automated to your audience and then giving them the option to book a call with you. Okay, so let's talk about the 3 pieces. The first piece, right, is going to be you need a traffic source. Okay, so you need a traffic source and you need to be able to bring people into your world every single day. Okay, so what does that look like? My favorite way, when you are scaling to like $20,000 months, right? You've already got 10K months, 10K, you need to do that organically. But when you are scaling to like 20K, 50K, 100K a month and beyond, right? The best way to bring in traffic, in my opinion, is Facebook ads. And I will always say that to the day that I die, right? Well, at least for now. Facebook ads are really, really powerful because Facebook, and my friend Katie says it the best. Like, Facebook is like a businessman for you or a salesman for you. You have the ability to tell Facebook, hey, these are a list of people that have already bought from me, or these are the list of my Instagram followers, right? I want you to go find more people that look like them, more people that have already bought from me. I want you, Facebook, to go find me more people. So once you already have proven your offer, right? When I say prove your offer, you've gotten somebody to buy it on Evergreen, right? That's the first check. But now we need more people to see this offer. We need more people. So many people get so scared of Facebook ads, right? I don't want y'all to be scared of Facebook ads. Now, if you are scaling to 10K months, you do not need Facebook ads. Once you're past that 10K, 15K, 20K per month mark, in order to scale when you're trying to get to 500,000 or 1 million, Facebook ads is going to be the quickest way to do that. So the first part of your evergreen funnel is like you need traffic. Okay, the biggest thing that I hear from people and new clients when they're like onboarding and they're like, I'm so excited because I've struggled for so long to figure out where to find my audience. Okay, because they've just guessed their way through, they've made some money, and they're like maybe relying on referrals or just trying to piece it together. That's really, really important for you to recognize that, like, in order to scale, you need traffic. So the first part of your evergreen funnel is traffic. And like, I'm going to pay $10, $5 all day to get Facebook to find me buyers, people that want to buy. Okay. Now, not everybody's going to buy, but once you have this funnel down and on lock, you just start bringing in traffic, and you can run traffic every single day through this funnel, every single day. It never turns off. Okay. The second part of your evergreen funnel is you need to have content that not only just nurtures, right? I'm going to take it one step further. It's content that actually shifts your ideal client's beliefs. Okay. So it's content that it's not just like, oh, how to, find a client in 5 steps or how to lose weight. Like, that content's boring. Like, we're not talking about that. We want content. And I'm not saying all how to content is boring, right? Because I still teach them how to content, but 80% of your content inside of this nurture source, I call it like conversion content. The content needs to shift their beliefs. So they may have a belief that, I'm going to use this example. Like, maybe their belief right now is that, I've tried all the diets. Like, I'm going to give a weight loss example. I'm always like, it's so easy for me to come up with those. So perhaps you're helping a client that's like, I've tried all these diets, right? Nothing has worked. So that's their current belief. Like, that's the belief that they have. But you know that if they just learned how to actually intuitively eat, right? And they learned how to manage their emotions with food and heal their food relationship, they would start to lose weight. So now and say like your program is about helping people learn how to get food freedom and break through old habits and lose the weight that they've been wanting to lose, right? Say your program is about that. In this one piece of content, right? And I'm going to talk about what that content could be. In this one piece of content, your entire goal is to shift their beliefs. That's it, right? So you're going to talk about the myths or the misconceptions or their current beliefs. And then you're going to talk about the solution to that, how you're going to change that. And you're going to change that belief in that piece of content. Okay. So I know that sounds like abstract, but we break it down so well inside of our Elevate program with how we help our clients shift the beliefs of their clients, right? And it all starts with your messaging, and it starts with making sure that you're really solving a big enough problem for your clients and a painful enough problem, and serving an audience that's problem aware, because the problem has to be so painful, right? And not necessarily, let me take that back. It doesn't have to be so painful, but it has to be a problem that they want to get rid of today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year. It's a problem that they have that's existing today that they need to get rid of. Okay, so some of the content, the two main pieces of content that we like on Evergreen are we really enjoy mini courses, right? And then we also really love webinars. So those are the two pieces like that are going to convert, like that are going to do the heavy lifting for you. So if you're constantly doing social media posts 24/7, or if you're constantly having to show up live every single day or send out emails every single day, right? There's a gap. You need to have a piece of content like a mini course or a challenge or a webinar that does the heavy lifting for you and breaks down your processes, breaks down your frameworks, and gets your ideal client to change your beliefs. Okay, so there's a whole methodology and framework behind it. It's not just creating a random ass webinar and being like, watch my webinar and you're going to buy. It doesn't work like that. There's a whole formula, but like you guys get the gist. Okay, so that's the second piece of an evergreen funnel. And like I said, we love like 3-part mini courses, challenges, or webinars, and we teach all three. The third piece of an evergreen funnel is you need to have a closing process in place. So, a converting process. And that process, what I teach people until they're at consistent like 30K months is a sales call. Okay. So you're going to take somebody, you're going to get traffic, right? You're going to use your Facebook ads. You're going to nurture them with your mini course or your webinar. And then the third piece is you're going to close them. So in the like mini course or the webinar and that evergreen content, you're going to give them a call to action to book a call with you, right? That's the next step. Like they need to book a call with you because that's your sales process. From there, you're going to get them on, a certain percentage of people that, go through your funnel, that watch your mini course or your webinar. They're going to love what they hear, right? And they're going to book a call with you. Okay. So it's going to look a little bit different from everyone. We have some industry standards that we work off of with our different clients depending on their niche, but ultimately like you can think like maybe anywhere from 5 to 20% of people that watch that piece of conversion content are going to book a call with you. And this is how you start getting calls just booked on your calendar where you're not having to go hunt for calls or struggle to get calls, right? You have a piece of content that's doing all the heavy lifting for you. Okay. And when I think about the bigger picture, like a lot of people wonder, like, well, should I make my mini course free or should I make my webinar paid? I personally love doing free mini courses or free webinars because it's all about getting as much traffic as you can, quality traffic through the funnel. So it's a numbers game. The more traffic you get through the funnel, right? If you have a price point on the mini course or the webinar, typically they're free. So you're going to get some met with resistance. People are not going to buy it unless it's like really bad. But I just think free is better because you get more people to play with, right? You get more data and you get more leads. Okay. Now back to the closing process. It's a sales call, right? So you're gonna give them a call to action, right, in your webinar or in your mini course to book a call with you. And then that's how you're gonna get people on your calendar books any day of the week. Okay. Now, I'm going to break down really quickly too, because some of you might sell courses, some of you might be selling or wanting to sell coaching. And the difference, right? You may say, well, if I'm selling a course, should I be getting on a sales call? Here's a rule of thumb in the industry. If you're selling something for $2,000 or less, sell it with a sales page. You don't need a sales call or anything like that. Now, if you're selling high ticket group coaching or a high ticket one-to-one coaching, if it's over $2,000, you need to get on a sales call. Okay, because you have to really build that know, like, trust factor and also get people to listen to you. Now, as you get more advanced, you can sell in the DMs, all of that, but I'm not going to go into that today. I'll do that in another podcast episode. But the general rule of thumb is if it's over $2,000, you need to get on a sales call. So that's kind of really the 3-part funnel: attract, nurture, and convert/close. Those are the 3-part pieces of the funnel. And that's really what we help our clients with inside of our Elevate to Success program. And Social Selling Society, it's really the foundational pieces. But as you're scaling, right, you really need to have this evergreen funnel in place so you can really get freedom in your life, because that's what we all want in the first place. All right. So you don't need to be, doing all these crazy live launches. You don't need to be out here, selling your soul to the devil trying to get a client, right? You just need a system in place. And this system is tried, tested, and true. Right. And if you have a high ticket offer, right, say you put in, $1,000 in Facebook ads, right, and you have a high ticket offer on the back end, say you're selling 5,000 or 8,000 or $10,000. So, for every dollar that you put into Facebook ads, you'll get $10 out. So say if I had, let's give an example, right? Say if I had a $10,000 program, I put $1 in, for every $1,000 I spend, I'll get a sale. Right? That's a no-brainer. So that's why, like, the data does not lie. And having a funnel, especially an evergreen funnel in place, allows you to rapidly scale your business. So let's kind of break down really quickly the last little piece I have for y'all, because I know this podcast episode has been jam packed, but this is one of my favorite topics to talk about. Okay, so let's talk about the differences between like live launching and evergreen, and then I'm gonna wrap us up. So traditionally, like most, I don't know, maybe 70% of marketers do like live launches. Here, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like I hate live launches. I used to say that I did, but live launching is great. It has a time and a place though. It is not a sustainable method to grow your business month after month. It's not. Because for one, you can't launch every week, right? You can't launch every month. You can't. It's not feasible. It's not reasonable. It's freaking exhausting, right? But I'm going to talk about like the differences really quick. So, live launching, like we talked about earlier, typically you're going to have an open and close date. So, say you launch on June 1st, right? You're going to have, the cart's going to open on June 1st, then it's going to close on June 5th. And then that's it. People can't get into the next launch. That's really crappy. Like I'm not here for it. But that's traditionally live launching. Also, you may have a bigger cash injection, but you may get like 20 people in your program at one time, like in like a week, but that's if the launch goes accordingly. Like we all know tech and internet and all the things, ads, like maybe your ads don't get approved because Facebook does have to approve your ads. So if your ads don't get approved, right? Or something like crazy like that, or you don't get enough people in for the launch, you're freaking screwed. Right? So live launching, like you're really just putting all your eggs in one basket. And for me, that's not it. Like I think live launching is great for a cash injection every once in a while, but as far as your only source of like bringing in revenue, it's not a smart move. Okay, so let's talk about Evergreen and why Evergreen again is bay, because it really is. So, Evergreen again, it's always open, right? And you're truly in service of the client. You are able to bring in consistent, healthy revenue like month after month. Now, once your funnel is like completely dialed in, you can start predicting, okay, I'm going to put in this much in Facebook ads, I'm going to get this much out. Cool. I'm going to put in more money in Facebook ads and I'm going to like get more money out. So it's really like you're able to really create consistent, healthy revenue and revenue that's growing month after month. Okay. So that's really my opinion. Like, and I've seen it in my own business. Like, having a funnel has been able to take me from 20K months to like 100K months, like nearly 100K months, because I have a funnel in place and I can bring in like cold traffic, people that have never heard of Latisse Hudson, never heard of Elevate to Success, never heard of Social Selling Society, right? I can say, hey, watch my mini course, watch my webinar, get to know me, right? See the social proof. I'm going to give case studies and testimonials. And then they're like, yo, I want to work with you because you can solve my problem. You're the shit. I'm here for it, right? And it's because I have this funnel always running. Now, the last piece of Evergreen that I really like to touch on from like a mindset perspective and energetic perspective is that personally, like I much rather, put in an hour a week to manage a funnel, which some weeks it's like 20 minutes, than putting in like I counted it up. Like if you did launches like every 6 to 8 weeks, which is a lot, like you're doing over 300 hours of work, right? If you do that in a year, over 300 hours of work, right, for launching. Where if you do 40 hours of work to get your funnel created, get that up, then you may have to manage your funnel 20, 30 minutes, 60 minutes a week. And as you scale, somebody else can manage the funnel for you. Okay. So it really all goes back to like, what type of lifestyle do you want? Okay. So I'm going to touch on like some questions that you should ask yourself if you're considering going evergreen. So the first question is like, what type of lifestyle do you want? Do you want a lifestyle where you're hustling and grinding and trying to figure out where to find clients? Do you want a lifestyle where you can't truly serve at your deepest capacity because you don't have a program that's available for a client? Do you want to have your program open for longer than just a couple of months, right? If you don't, like, then maybe live launching is for you. But if you want a program that's going to become like your flagship, what you're known for, what people are like, oh, go to so and so for that. Like, do you want that program open in the next 2 to 5 years? Because if you don't, then like Evergreen may not be the way for you. But if you're looking to scale your business to like multiple 6 figures or 7 figures, hell, even 8 figures, an Evergreen, business model, right? Having an Evergreen program and an Evergreen funnel will probably be the way for you. Another question I want you to ask yourself is like, do you want to be spending all your time on social media away from your family and friends? If you do, then like Maybe evergreen funnels aren't for you. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but you have to decide that for yourself. And then like the last big question I want you to ask yourself is like, do you prefer consistent healthy revenue or do you want chaotic revenue inside of your business? Those are the questions that you really need to ask yourself, right? Actually, I have one more, right? Are you open to like testing? Because here's the thing, you don't just put up an evergreen funnel, and I want to bust through this right now before I wrap up this episode. You don't just put up a funnel and be like, well, it's my funnel, it's gonna work. No, like you have to test it, you have to tweak it, you may have to re-record videos, you may have to change verbiage, you may have to rewrite emails, but like when we outweigh, like when we look at the pros of like consistent revenue, freedom, meeting your clients where they're at, getting your clients better results, all of the freedom that comes with having an evergreen business model versus like, oh, I got to refilm this video, or oh, I got to edit this out. Oh, I got to write a new email. Oh, I got to film a new video for ads. Like, let's check our ego and entitlement at the door and let's be grateful, right? Let's just be grateful because in what world can we literally sit from our laptops and phones and literally make money every day? What world? You tell me. And not even just like regular money. I'm talking like six, multiple six, seven, eight figures because you have the right business model in place. Okay. So personally, y'all, an evergreen model, right? Business, and I say evergreen business model, right? That's really the right terminology because you need an evergreen program and then an evergreen funnel, and that creates an evergreen business model. Okay. So an evergreen business model has changed my life to the tune of, right, nearly $400,000 in 2020, and then a million, like we're on track for a million in 2021. So whenever you're listening to this podcast, like that's what an evergreen business model has done for me. And I'm just like so forever grateful. And I'm just such a happier person because I have a business model that supports the life that I want. The last thing that I'll say is that so often, y'all, when I talk to coaches and consultants in the online space, are stuck in this feast and famine. They're stuck in this crazy launch model. They're stuck in like these low dollar, low ticket, barely paying the bills, right? The business expenses, business models because of what somebody else told them, what they had to do to earn their stripes. Bump that. Like you can start on Evergreen day one. Now, I'm not going to say day one, start with an Evergreen group program. If you're a brand new coach, I'm going to direct you, right, to join Social Selling Society, where you're going to build up your one to one on Evergreen. And then you can join Elevate to go to a group. But like, you don't need to like do this crazy launch to get clients, right? We have a very simple system and strategy that we teach. Okay. So you just really have to ask yourself those questions like, what type of life do I want? And what business model is it going to take for me to get that life? I know for me, consistent 100K, 200K, 300K months is the model that I want. That's the revenue that I want. So I'm going to get the model that creates that. I don't want crazy launches. I don't want to exert all that energy. So you really have to sit with yourself. If you're like, is Evergreen right for me? Should I do Evergreen? I'm still a little bit confused, but I know Evergreen sounds like the next level. Then you have to decide for yourself. I can't decide for you. Nobody else can decide for you. All I can share with you is my experience and my clients' experiences. And they are just like, I'm a happier person. My clients are amazing, happier people. And they are just so grateful for the businesses that they've created because they have an evergreen model. How many times you talk to people that do these crazy ass launches that are like, oh my gosh, I'm just so excited to launch? Like, no one typically says that. Okay. So I just want to really challenge you on like, is it reasonable for you to stay where you're at or is it time to make a change? Okay. So Evergreen is Bay, Evergreen is the way. And I would be more than happy to help you on your Evergreen journey. Send me a DM over on Instagram. I would be more than happy to chit chat with you about your unique situation because it's changed my life. And all I want to do is get the word out because so many people still don't know what Evergreen is. And honestly, it's like a life changer. So if you're not Evergreen, you should really consider it. Implementing an Evergreen business model truly can change the trajectory of your life. And I will 1001% always recommend it. So thanks y'all for rocking with me on this podcast. And I appreciate y'all listening every single week. It would mean the world to me if y'all gave us a review and just let us know how you like this episode. So I adore every single one of you. I appreciate you. And seriously, if you're not Evergreen, give Evergreen a thought because it might just change your life. Hey, if you loved today's episode, I would love if you took a quick second to leave a rating and a review. It truly means the world to me and helps spread the message to coaches just like you who are ready to go to the next level in their business. And if you're ready to start scaling your online coaching business, I want to take the time to invite you to apply. This is our exclusive high-level group coaching program for coaches ready to create and launch a signature group coaching program. This program would help you finally scale past those coveted 10K months and create a scalable business model for years to come. Head on over to www.latisehudson.com/apply to submit your application and get all the details. You don't want to miss it.